Hello, everybody. It's week, whatever we're in,
Four.
4 of Lent, and welcome to our conversation about what's been happening in our lives this week. I'm Margaret Scott, part
I'm
one,
Linda Snanza Taggart.
and we are the Revs on Retreat.
We are.
So we're retreating with you again with some conversation about this week. And as we talked, we both realized that we had some insights that involve making space or taking the time to make space. And we started out because, I started out because I was talking about how I felt like I had nothing. And it wasn't a bad thing, which really plays havoc with one's ideas about productivity.
Yes.
And that started Linda on thinking about her introductory email to this whole Lent thing.
Right, which was the discussion about an analog lifestyle and how popular that's becoming among especially young adults, but even older adults. And I'm finding that whenever I'm able to move away from a tool that is meant for higher productivity, think certain apps, think multiple calendars, think writing everything into your laptop instead of by hand, that kind of thing, I feel better. I feel clearer. I feel more peaceful. And so it's really started me thinking about how to access that internal peace through my exterior life.
Yeah. And that interior peace, I think, I hadn't thought about this until you said it, but is why I'm not fretting about feeling empty.
Yeah.
Because having an empty feeling in a product-based society is a bad feeling. I don't have anything to offer. But in fact, it just means that we have access to something deeper and that there is room for receiving whatever comes. A lot of the time there's just no room to receive what comes because I'm so full of something else.
Yeah, but I want to say that I think that that's not true, that you don't have anything to offer because you're empty. I think what you're offering is a way for people to see that it's okay to be empty, that's kind of like even a resistance to the productivity culture, right?
Yes.
Which is what the analog thing is all about.
Right.
So it's a mistake to think that you're empty, so there's nothing. That's productivity thinking.
Right. You're right. Yep, that's true. But what it did bring up for me, this emptiness, is partly that, and I sit corrected.
Sorry.
No, it's exactly right. It's exactly right, and that's why I value these conversations because you get your thinking kind of challenged.
Right.
But what it raised for me was that it's scary for me. And part of it is because I am so active and mentally doing things as well as physically. And I am very dependent on calendars and schedules. And so because of the circumstances of my life right now, it has become evident to me that I do much better when I have a schedule. And to allow space for no productivity in there is pretty scary. And so I have some fear. And as soon as I started talking about that with Linda, she told me about something we had both read this week from Mark Nepo.
Right. And it's interesting how these are not coincidences, no. Right. Great that it came up. Yes, so he wrote a piece about how to help yourself deal with the fear that is a part of our daily life right now because of, circumstances surrounding us. And the first piece of advice he gave was, and I love how practical these things are, try to spend as much time with what might go right as with what might go wrong.
Yeah.
Because you can train yourself, right? You can train yourself to do that. And that puts you more in balance. Because if you're only feeling and looking for and anticipating things that are negative or things that make you afraid, you will only see more of those.
Yeah.
Right? So it becomes a repeatable sequence then. You could fear what might happen. Then you could recognize, I'm afraid, right?
Yeah.
Name it. Yeah, exactly. Remember that this is only one possible outcome. There are many outcomes. And then try to imagine what might go right alongside what might go wrong. So that's like a little sequence or loop or whatever that you can teach yourself, that we can teach ourselves, and it can change kind of like a doom mindset or a fear mindset into something a little more balanced.
Yeah. And it is like a prescription. I mean, it's it's repeatable, and you can just name it and keep training your brain to do that.
Yeah, you can write it down.
Yeah.
You can, have it nearby for when it when you can't, when the fear paralyzes you.
Yeah. And sometimes you can use, a different word than fear, and you can say fear. I am afraid that, someone will start attacking the U.S. because we're in a war. And then you can say, but what's the alternative? What's the opposite for you? Everybody has a different fear opposite, or a word for opposites. And I'm trying to think as soon as I said that, I'm blanking, of course. Hope, maybe, is one word, or possible, or possibility, or even the word that Mark Nepo used, which was option. This is only one possible option
or outcome or whatever. Yeah.
Yes. That you might say that. And as soon as I thought about that, it struck me that love was an option. And it's about how I might love. We talked a little bit earlier, not online, about how if we feel like we're stuck, and I'm feeling like I'm empty in the middle of a horrible Lent, I do know that there's a privilege. There's a privilege in that there are people who are living stuck in endless Lent.
Yes, I referenced last week when at the end of the video, I spoke about having in the corner of my vision,
Easter,
resurrection,
yes,
resurrection, and Easter, and that hope on which that we hang on to is something that's a part of our tradition. But also, that is a privileged position that we know that Easter is coming, Lent will end. We will throw off the heaviness and sorrow that is inherent in Lent. And really kind of not look back for a long time.
Yeah.
But what you're bringing up is that there are many people that, well, number one, don't have that understanding of life, and number two, are in such a frightening and painful place that the experience of Lent is ongoing for them. It doesn't end at Easter.
Yeah.
And
so we who have that sort of in the back of our minds or the corner of our eyes, have somewhat of responsibility to find ways to be of service to people who are in such a dark place and such a difficult, endless kind of cycle. So anyway,
Well,
that
I
was my distraction.
I am gonna read that or say that small quote that I found that was helpful to me, because we don't want to say that it's important to be of service because of that and then not give you
an example,
a practical thing
a
that
prescription.
might.
Here's another prescription.
We're doctors.
We are
soul doctors.
Soul doctors.
Yes. So this is something else that I read this week, and it impacted me because it felt doable. Unlike the enormity of so much of what is happening. And those words are, do for one person what you wish you could do for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's manageable.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And then to your speaking about replacing a word, which was a great lead-in. Thank you. Yeah. Our blessing for you as we leave you today, the day after St. Patrick's Day. I was reading some, whether it was an email, I don't remember, or something, from the writer Christine Walters Paintner, where she speaks about St. Patrick and the Lorica, the St. Patrick's prayer. Lorica means a prayer of protection, a prayer of protection. And so here is that prayer that I'm sure you've heard before, with a substitution that, like I told Margaret, blew my mind when I read it and made it fresh and new. Love within me, love before me, love behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right, and Christ on my left. Love when I lie down, love when I sit down, love when I arise, love to shield me, love in the heart of everyone who thinks of me, love in the mouth of everyone who speaks of me. I arise in love today. May that be true for you.
Yes.
Thanks to Christine Walters Paintner for that lovely rendition of the Lorica. And we will look forward to seeing you again next week. Blessings to you.